I didn't have any expectations going into driver's license. It was the first song I had really ever released on my own, and so that was sort of terrifying in a sense by itself. But I always really loved the song, and I felt like it really captured this way that I was feeling. Before I wrote the song, it was sort of hard for me to surmise like everything that was going on in my head into like a song before. And so I was just really proud of the fact that I felt like I did that, at least for me. There was a lot of personal satisfaction that went along with it. But did not.
That's right now. Like, do you get stopped in the street? I mean, everybody, there's so much expectation, and everybody's anticipating any song you come out with. I mean, how does that feel like?
Yeah, it's sort of weird though, because I'm like still like sort of, everything's sort of opening up a little bit, but I still am like kind of stuck in my house a lot. I'm not fully vaccinated yet, so I'm not like going out anywhere or like going to like in public a ton. So I don't really get to like see how the song is affecting people in real life. I've actually never played a show before in my life too. I've never like sang a song for a crowd of people that was that it was my own song. I've never done that, so it's been sort of this weird experience putting out songs sort of in isolation. And but I know it's awesome to kind of have social media nowadays and to get to see people's reactions that way. And driver's license and Deja Vu actually both were like sort of has a lot of traction on TikTok, which is so cool to like see people create stuff to the song that you created. So that's been awesome and has sort of made up for the fact that I'm not out and about a ton.
How is your TikTok now?
I have been so busy after driver's license came out. I honestly haven't really gone on it a ton, just because it's like it takes up so much of your time. You're like, oh, I'm gonna sit down and watch TikTok, and then it's like 3 hours later you're like still on TikTok. So I try not to go on it a bunch, but my friends like send me ones left and right, and yeah, it's just so cool to have that sort of creative community.
You recently announced that you're going to be performing at the Brit Awards, and how does that feel? Is this the first time that you will be performing live?
Yeah, this is the first time that I'll be like truly performing live a song that I have written, which is so cool. And it's so cool that that's at the Brits, just like randomly. That's so awesome. I've also never been to the UK before, so there's going to be a lot of firsts going on. But yeah, I'm so excited, a little bit nervous, but mostly super excited.
Amazing. We will be watching you. We will be for you. Have you chosen an outfit? Has that happened yet?
We're in the process of doing that. Somebody's making me a custom dress, which I'm so excited for. I've never had one before. So. I know. I'm so stoked. I'll send you pics.
Please. We'll be... Because you know what? You look amazing in everything you wear. You look incredible. But I know that you are really big into sustainable fashion, and you love to shop vintage. What do you wear on a regular day?
Yeah, today I am wearing an outfit that's vintage from my favorite vintage store in Salt Lake City called Vantage. I lived in Salt Lake City for a while. I was filming a show, and they have this great vintage in Salt Lake randomly. Sometimes places that aren't LA and New York have the best vintage for whatever reason. So I'm wearing right now I'm wearing a pair of actually these are Boy Scout pants that I'm wearing, and they tailored them to fit a girl body, which is fun, and a t-shirt. But yeah, I love shopping vintage and thrifting and stuff like that. It's just pretty cool to have pieces that are completely unique, and fashion is sort of taxing on the environment when done so often and cheaply. So it's fun to do that too.
Absolutely. Now you have announced that a new album is coming May 21st.
Yeah.
We can't wait. What inspired this album?
Yeah, so it's my first album, which is super exciting. And I sort of wrote all of it, or most of it, I think. Most of it when I was 17. So it's sort of this slice of my 17-year-old life. I think that age is sort of riddled with a lot of insecurity and, figuring yourself out. And, I wrote this album sort of about my first heartbreak too. So it's very much like a adolescent album, I think. And I wrote a lot about feelings that aren't super fun to express in normal life, sadness and jealousy and anger and stuff like that. So I'm so stoked for people to hear it. I'm really, really proud of it.
I have to tell you that when I listen to your lyrics, I know that you are such a brave woman and a role model to so many adolescents out there, and that you are not scared of really showing your vulnerability. Why is that so important to you? And I mean, that takes a lot of bravery, to be honest, to share the heartbreak or to share what you've been going through, and especially at your age. Like, why is it important? Why were you, what motivated you to be so, I mean, I have huge admiration for you, and that's part of the reason that you have this cover, is because I do think you're such an incredible role model. I know my kids love you, my son Lucas loves you, his friends love you, we love you, and your songs are very meaningful, and again, you share a lot, and it's a time when it's so complicated, right?
Yeah, wow, thank you, that means a lot. Yeah, I mean, it sort of weird. I remember like listening to my album like 2 weeks ago and being like, wow, why am I like doing this? I'm just like putting like all of my like insecurities and like all of like my heart on like a silver platter for people. Like, oh, this is sort of like weird, but I'm like, first of all of my favorite artists do that, and I think I've been helped so much by other artists before me that have been brave enough to share their feelings truthfully, and that helped me get through so much. And so, you know, I think if I can do that for somebody else, that's incredible. And also, I've just sort of always been like that. I think I'm an oversharer in my life. I have a big mouth, and I like tell, like I'll like literally tell my Uber driver like my deepest, darkest secrets and trauma. So like that's just like sort of who I am, and that sort of translates into my songwriting. But yeah, I think vulnerability and specificity are really the things that make songs so special. And so yeah, I guess I just try to do that as much as possible.
And music has the ability to connect us, right?
Totally.
World. I mean, I'm seeing here, I'm seeing people from Brazil, from Ecuador, from Peru. And everyone is kind of connected. So I do see how important it is. Guys, if you have any questions, we have Olivia for a few more minutes. I want to ask you to, if you had to collaborate with an artist, and I'm sure you will get to do that, is there somebody in particular that you have in mind?
Yeah, oh my gosh. There are so many people that I would love to collaborate with. I think
sending you love. God, it's crazy.
So many people. I'm the biggest fangirl ever, but I am obsessed with Jack White. I like grew up listening to his music and like really fell in love with it when I was like 14. Like that was like the only thing I listened to from the ages of like 14 to 16 was the White Stripes. And so I'm obsessed with him, and I just like think he's such a genius. So it'd be fun to like work with him, or you know, have him like produce a song with me. That would be the dream. But yeah, there are so many artists I would love to collaborate with. I'm good friends with Conan Gray, who's this incredible songwriter, and we've been like sort of writing together, and you know, that's super fun too. So yeah, there's so many people. I kind of started writing songs like by myself. Like I'm a big like just songwriter in my bedroom, but you know, now I've sort of been broadening my horizons and working with other people, which has been really fun and a good creative challenge.
I have a feeling the sky is the limit for you, and I have a feeling that we're going to see you on Elle magazine many more times over the years. Is there a piece of advice that you would give all the fans that are watching you, all the girls and boys that are out there, and young kids that are going through hard times or trying to make it or have a dream? What would be your best piece of advice?
Oh, yes. I'm not the most sage person in the world, but I guess as far as like art goes, I think it's so important for people to, you know, people of all ages, but especially young people, to make songs or make art or whatever just because they truly love to do it. I think that's the seed of all great creation, is just love of the art. And so I guess I would give that advice to younger people, you know, making art for the first time. And also just something I think about all the time is, you know, especially when you're an artist and you're like giving your heart to people and they're so critical of it, I think it's important to try to learn to not take things personally and realize that what people say about you has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you. I say that all the time, but it's just like the one thing that has just like helped me tremendously throughout this process. So yeah, I'd tell them that.
Valentina Paris is asking, I don't know like this where she was from, what is your favorite song in this album? Do you have
yeah, oh my gosh. It changes all the time. Right now it's the first song called Brutal. I think it's like a really unique song, and it's like the lyricism is really authentic too. So I'm super excited for people to hear that one.
Olivia, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being us. Some other questions I see. Miss Peru, Natalie Vertis is asking your number one beauty tip.
Oh my gosh.